It's time now for Truth or Fake. Charlotte Hughes is over by the big board. Good evening to you, Charlotte. Today, looking at the youth-led protests currently unfolding in, among other places, Morocco, and a viral video allegedly showing an elderly woman injured during these demonstrations. Charlotte, truth or fake? Tell us.
Yes, as we've been reporting yesterday, crowds took to the streets in several cities across Morocco for a fourth consecutive day. They're calling for improved social services and less corruption. Now, these gatherings were organised on social media by a loosely formed youth collective that refers to itself as Gen Z 212, and they were initially peaceful. But violent clashes have since broken out between demonstrators and security forces. And against this backdrop of the protests, some online, as you say, have been widely circulating footage that they allege shows an elderly woman assaulted by security forces in recent days. Some internet users are also alleging she was hit on the head when she went to a police station to inquire about her son, who they say was detained during the recent demonstrations. So let's take a look at that video in question.
عندك الحجة عندك
Now, this footage has sparked an angry reaction from some online. This person referred to it, I quote, as a cruel human scandal, adding, I quote, "This is a country that strikes its mothers and grandparents rather than giving justice." Another person made a similar allegation, again linking this footage to the current demonstrations in Morocco. As you can see, Mark, Gen Z 212.
Indeed, and it is disturbing to see someone of that age in such distress. But of course, we have to question what is the truth of this video. So what is true, what is fake? Can you throw some light on that for us?
Well, this video is not at all recent, and it is not, in fact, linked to the current protests in Morocco. It has been taken out of its original context. So Moroccan media outlets and social media pages posted this video in December of 2017, as we can see here, and the date here. They stated it shows an elderly woman being assaulted by a member of the auxiliary forces in Tangier after she went to ask for information about a detained relative. One of the officers reportedly lost his temper and pushed her, causing her to fall and sustain a head injury. According to one Moroccan outlet, an investigation was then launched into the incident. So yes, Mark, as disturbing as that footage is, it is not at all linked to the recent protests.
Very disturbing indeed, and I hope the old lady recovered and was cared for in the way that she clearly needed to be cared for. This isn't the only video circulating online, though, is it, that has been falsely linked to the current demonstrations? Charlotte, tell us more.
No, it is not, Mark. So some on platforms, including X, have been circulating this footage, which they claim shows protesters using cemeteries as protest sites in order, they say, to avoid repression by security forces. Now, for instance, this person on X says, I quote, "Cemeteries are turning into protest grounds as young people from Generation Z flee harsh crackdowns by security forces." However, those making such claims are in fact wrong. This footage was actually published in September during the funeral of this man. His name is Ahmed Zevzafi, the father of the detained Nasser Zevzafi. So Nasser Zevzafi is this man here, and he was a leading activist in the Hirak movement several years ago. And for viewers who don't know, the so-called Hirak movement was a wave of protests in Morocco during 2016, 2017, and it was against corruption and unemployment. Now, hundreds of people were detained, and that video that we just saw was of Moroccans demanding the release of those who are still detained, such as Nasser Zevzafi. So again, not linked to the youth-led protests taking place in recent days, but turning back now to the current demonstrations. As I said earlier, there have been violent clashes between demonstrators and security forces. According to local media reports on Tuesday, demonstrators hurled stones at security forces. Meanwhile, the Moroccan Association for Human Rights has accused security forces of assaulting protesters and making arbitrary arrests. Gen Z 212, meanwhile, has urged those who take to the streets to remain peaceful, and in a bid to quell the unrest, Morocco's government met in an emergency session on Tuesday, vowing to respond, I quote, positively to the protesters' demands. So we will be keeping an eye on how that situation develops.
Charlotte Hughes, truth or fake, thank you very much indeed. The message, of course, to all of you watching, try to get news from a reputable source, and I hope you view France 24 as just that. Do stay with us. We have more news to come.